There is a phenomenon on social media you may have seen being called dogpiling. It doesn't really exist, and I'm going to use Tariq Musa as a particularly pathetic example. The Mary Sue published an article titled Tariq Musa leaves Twitter after sustained harassment campaign led by Gamergate. Naturally, I have a very different take on this series of events. This guy has had articles published on The Guardian's website and on Polygon. He also solicited contact from all of the public by having an open profile on Twitter. He puts his writing out into the world, and then the world responds as he gave them an avenue to do so. If tons of people have something to say back to you after you put something out into the public, this is not dogpiling. If they had deliberately gotten together and organized to bother you, then yeah, sure, that kinda sucks. But you put something out into the public, you put a bit of bait out there, people took it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that happening. But that's quite a general argument that applies to anyone publishing content. Why have I picked this guy as a sort of case study? Mr. Musa is a polemicist. He has quite the history of being an edgelord. I think most people would agree that if you put something out into the public that says something along the lines of, "I do not want the lower classes to breed," you should expect responses, or at least people who've seen it, to comment on it. He is much smoother in the way he writes now and seems to want to do it by proxy of video games, but he's still very much seeking out things that only an idiot would not expect strong response to. In this excerpt of an article of his about Witcher 3, published in Polygon, he makes the argument that people should be treated differently based on their skin color. I can sort of empathize with the people who say, well, I wouldn't want to contact him directly and call him shit or his work shit. But here's the thing, he can set himself up to be private, because if he's only happy with certain kinds of responses, he doesn't need to receive those responses, as there's nothing new to be gained. He knows what they'd look like, and anything else he'd receive would be unwanted. Why be public if you don't want to be surprised for better or worse? You don't have a right to make yourself public and then only receive glowing praise, or even the right to only receive friendliness. I spoke about this in my video called I Like Harassment. I am perfectly happy to receive nasty responses, and so I am comfortable leaving myself open to be contacted by anyone. If you don't want them, go private. Don't try to limit my ability to hear what people think by making it unacceptable for them to say it. You have absolutely everything you need to cover yourself in bubble wrap. Don't force everyone else to do it too. But here's the big trick. Almost everyone you see complaining about dogpiling knows exactly how they can stop it. On Twitter, there's even a tab where you can say, only see stuff from people I'm following. Sorted, just wait a while. But generally speaking, the people I see complaining about dogpiling or quote-unquote harassment are people who comment on the public and things others have put into the public, who do not want the public to be able to comment on what they've put out there. This is just the most disgusting hypocrisy, and a demand for quite a disturbing amount of power. You've likely noticed that the example I've put on screen only refers to comment sections, something that he should be in control of, or at least whoever owns the site should be in control of it. While I do think that turning off comments under articles or videos absolutely sucks, I do not believe you should be forced to have them open. But that's actually irrelevant, because some people, our friend Tariq included, do not want you to be able to talk publicly about authors or their work, anywhere. To do what he does, if it's not through an outlet he respects, I guess, or if you're not someone he deems worthy, he treats it as harassment. If we accept his standards of harassment, we'd have a press, and a niche press with the kind of power I'd only read about existing in dictatorships. To me, harassment has to be one-sided. As soon as you put something out there for the public to see and have provided an avenue for contact, you have actually made the first move. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.